আমরা একটা লাইভ সেশনে আরম্ভ করছি। বিখ্যাত ভাস্কর স্বর্গীয় রামকিঙ্কর বেইজ, পরবর্তীকালে বিস্তারে আমরা অন্য সেশনগুলো করব। সামনে আছেন অনিন্দ্যবাবু, কান্তি বিশ্বাস। উনি 4 দশক ধরে রামকিঙ্কর বেইজ মহাশয় নিয়ে গবেষণা করেছেন। নিজেও এক প্রখ্যাত শিল্পী ভাস্কর, অনেক ওনারও প্রতিভা আছে, বইও প্রকাশনা আছে। Good afternoon, viewers. Now we are on a brief talk show on a celebrated father of modern sculpturing in India, who had grooming. He had a very poor background, very countryside in Bankura. He was picked up and inducted in the Shantiniketan Vishwabharati, and he was trained and groomed, and at the later end, after a lot of struggle, he could become head of the Department of Arts, the Kala, usually known as Kala Bhavan. विख्यात मृत्शिल्पी रामकिंकर बेज जी के बारे में हम कुछ थोड़ा परिचिति जानना चाहेंगे। समय थोड़ा कम है, उनको भी विदेश जाना है। अनिंद्य विश्वास जी, अभी आप थोड़ा रामकिंकर बेज जी के बारे में, आपने तो उन पर बहुत काम किया है, बोलिए।
नमस्कार। रामकिंकर बेज के ऊपर अगर मैं बोलते जाऊंगा तो कितना रात का जरूरत है, सबसे बड़ा बात यह है। छोटा करके रामकिंकर बेज को मैं हैलिड धूमकेतु के साथ तुलना कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि ऐसे स्कल्पचर और आर्टिस्ट दुनिया में चाहे 1000 साल, 5000 साल, 10,000 सालों में एक आते हैं। मेरा सौभाग्य है जो उनके ऊपर मेरा 40 साल का जो रिसर्च वर्क चल रहा है, मेरे को देख के सबको थोड़ा सा गलत आइडिया होगा जो उम्र कितना हो सकती है जो 40 साल रिसर्च कर रहे हैं। मैं 9 साल उम्र में मेरा दादाजी के साथ एक बिस्तर में सो के नंदलाल बोस, रामकिंकर बेज, इन लोगों के बारे में जानते थे। दादाजी गल्प सुनाते थे, सुनते थे, और 9 साल उम्र में दादाजी मेरे को हैमर एंड चीजल मेरा हाथ में पकड़ दिया। आई यूज टू कट द ब्लॉक। रामकिंकर बेज जिस शहर में पैदा हुआ, बांकुड़ा, रामकिंकर बेज was born in Bankura in the year 1906 on 25th May. He was born in a very poor family. His father was a barber. Generally, he used to cut up the hairs, nails for the elite class people, and his mother, Shampurna Devi, used to wear locally available words is the alta. Generally, the upper class Brahmins are used to wear them things. When he was a boy, his talent was observed by the very near resident of Jugipada, that is Pathokpada, Bankura, by Ramananda Chattopadhyay. Ramananda Chattopadhyay was the editor of the Tribune and the Modern Review, and he was a very close friend of Rabindranath Tagore. He was picked up Ramkinkar Baij and sent to Shantiniketan for...
So, what time tentative he was
in Shantiniketan?
No, he was noticed by Chattopadhyay.
Ramananda Chattopadhyay when he was around 16, 17 years old.
And which AD?
1923 or 22 maybe.
By then, Vishwabharati University was,
yes,
Shantiniketan
was... In 1921, Vishwabharati, the Kala Bhavan was started in 1921.
Kala Bhavan, that is
Kala
for the
Bhavan,
arts,
yes,
dedicated
fine
for
arts,
the
yes.
fine arts.
Started in 1921. Most probably he was the 3rd or 4th batch of the Kala Bhavan. The first batch was Dhirendra Krishna Dev Burman. The second batch was Vinod Bihari Mukherjee, and he was maybe the 3rd or 4th batch.
I believe he did not have a formal schooling in his childhood.
No, he had his schooling in up to 10th standard. He was non-matric, but his English was unparalleled. I am giving one example. When he gave the one drawing to A. Ramachandran, generally if he give anyone the works of his, generally he used to do the writings on the river side. He has written, once upon a time I was caught in the net of a damoiselle. It is the remembrance, don't love please. So damoiselle is a French word, and his writing was in Gothic English. So how he was educated, it is not the fact that he was a non-matric guy. Generally, he used to study the library after taking the class of his, and then he went to the Surul Bon, that jungle, and he used to read George Bernard Shaw's Ulysses, lot of literature oriented, different types of magazines, which was available in Shantiniketan library.
And his days as a student and subsequent his grooming as an artist.
Yes, generally, when Nandalal Bose was observed that Ramkinkar Baij doesn't need any training, because already when he came in Shantiniketan, already he has handled the oil technique, watercolor, and the other mediums also. So, Nandalal Bose was not interested to take him as a student. But after that, he told, okay, then take 3 or 4 more years to year. So Ramkinkar Baij in his later days used to say to the journalist or any of the people who want to meet with him that those 3-4 years never ended in my life. After finishing his 55 years life in Shantiniketan.
Well, his as a faculty member at Kala Bhavan, at Vishwabharati, could you throw some light? That then was the legendary people were around at Kala Bhavan, the Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore, Kavi. He was also
He was
quite
his
active.
lifestyle was very simple. No one can imagine that he is a world-renowned, recognized sculptor, because in the year 1951, his 6 works were exhibited in Paris, the Paris Nouvelle the Reelite group. They have exhibited, they have organized that show. It was a group show, and they used to raise up the question, this type of artist can belong to India. So that was the quotation of the French Nouvelle the Reelite group, and they wanted to Ramkinkar Baij's solo show, but in his whole life he was not managed to prepare his own passport.
As you said, the Europe was dominating in, in the field of art and culture. So, getting appreciation and acknowledgement is really itself an
Yes, definitely. But because when Ramkinkar Baij used to take the call from Picasso at that time, during the time of 1948, 49, 50, generally what's happened? It was a trunk call telephone, like that thing. So he used to do his own works and then washed his hand, then generally used to go there and then attend the phone. Then Picasso told Ramkinkar that, may I speak to Dr. Ramkinkar Baij? No, I am just Ramkinkar. I am not doctorate holder. After that came back, Ramkinkar Baij, he met Nandalal Bose, and he said to Nandalal Bose that from the very next day you have to remove all the doctors from Pearson Hospital, because Picasso told me, doctor, I used to take that means care after the hospitals, because Picasso told me that I am the doctor Ramkinkar Baij. It was humorous things. And not only that, almost in a regular basis, Picasso's phone came to Ramkinkar Baij, and once upon a time we are all acquainted with that. Politoshen, when he went to meet with Picasso, his PA was the very fan of Rabindranath Tagore. Oh, you come from Tagore's country. Then generally Politoshen met with Picasso, and Picasso asked Politoshen that, have you met Ramkinkar Baij? Yes, I have met with Ramkinkar Baij, but generally the Indians who at that time went to Paris or abroad or the Western countries used to attend the Picasso's studio because lot of beautiful ladies are there, and to see the beautiful ladies, the nude in figure, they generally want to meet with Picasso, and Picasso knows that thing very well. So generally, Picasso, when Raza went there, S.H. Raza, Sayyid Haidar Raza, Picasso asked Raza, "Have you met with Indian Picasso?" Then Raza told, "No. First go and meet with Indian Picasso and then come."
Yes, sir, Raja. Yes. Very nice anecdote you shared. Uh, some of the creative, being a delight, I have seen a dominating picture at the Reserve Bank of office main entrance. Some of his masterworks during an entire career, like Yakshan. Some of
Yakshan Yakshi, he has started in the year 1962. If Nehru did any good work in his whole life, that when Ramkinkar Baij finished the first one, that means the Yaksha, all the money has spent. Indira Gandhi requested to Nehru that if you have not issued the more money from the government, then from the very next day, King Korda will go to jail, because the quotation around the figure was almost finished, because he has not the idea about the commission work, because it was the first commission work done by Ramkinkar Baij.
this is
So
a massive
yeah,
monolith. I
massive,
should
yes. And the stone was taken from Baijnath. It was taken from Baijnath. It was a narrow gauge line, the train line. So automatically the expenditure was a huge amount. So when he completed just only one figure, almost the money was spent. So Reserve Bank was not interested to do the next one. But Nehru did his good work, and when he finished that, the second one, he never came back to Delhi in his whole life, because that bitter experience carried by Ramkinkar Baij during the time of 60s, he never interested, even when he was offered to Padma Bhushan, it was offered in Shantiniketan by B.C. Sanyal in Shantiniketan, Palava.
Oh, incidentally, I like to add for the abroad listeners the Padma Vibhushan. That's the Padma Bhushan
by B.C.
in
Sanyal.
civil that in a civil award, and it's the third highest award, our Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan and the Padma Bhushan. Incidentally, consent is required for before being awarded, so he was not keen for the Padma Bhushan. This some more his classic works.
His classics,
In sculpturing.
first classics are the Sujata. It was in between the eucalyptus trees, and just imagine that 80 years before, those eucalyptus trees were just very little bit height, around 8 or 10 feet. So in keeping the rhythm in his own memory, he has made that sculpture, and that sculpture you can see the walking movement of the Joya Appasamy. At that time she was from south. Her walking style interested Ramkinkar Baij. So generally he used to capture the rhythmical walking style of Joya Appasamy in that particular sculpture, Sujata. It has a very little pedestal, and you can feel, when you have seen that sculpture, you can feel that sculpture was going with you, because if the pedestal was high, generally present sculptor has no idea how to use the pedestal. They have put it the works in the pedestal height, that means the 6 feet 7 feet height, but they don't know what is called environmental sculpture. Ramkinkar Baij maximum did, and he was not only the first environmental sculptor in Indian modern art, he was the first Indian environmental, he was the first environmental sculptor in the whole world, because when he finished in 1935, the Sujata, the Western country thinking about the environmental sculpture in the year 1945. Already Ramkinkar Baij finished three. First one is Sujata, second one is the Santal family, the group sculpture, and the third one is the paddy thrashing in the year 1943. So Ramkinkar Baij finished the 3 environmental sculptures before the Western countries did.
Thank you. Another thing, he is regarded as a father of abstract.
Yes, he was also regarded as the first Indian abstract sculptor. First Indian abstract sculpture done by Ramkinkar Baij in the year 1938. It is called Digdan or the Lampstand. Tagore has written in his poem that very famous song Aguner Poroshmoni, and the two lines he was inspired by he was inspired by Ramkinkar Baij's words. আমার এই দেহখানি তুলে ধরো তোমার ওই দেবালয়ের
একটু বাংলায় যদি আমাদের এপার ওপার বাংলার বা বিদেশে যারা বাঙালি বা ভারতবর্ষ অন্য রাজ্যে আছে ওদের ব্যাপারে একটু বাংলায় যদি বলেন।
রামকিঙ্কর বেদ সম্পর্কে বলতে গেলে যে কিভাবে রাতের পর রাত কেটে যেতে পারে, আমার মনে হয় 6 মাস সময়টাও বোধহয় খুব কম আমার কাছে যতটা জেনেছি। তার হেন কোনো ছাত্রছাত্রী নেই ডিরেক্ট, প্রত্যক্ষ ছাত্রছাত্রী ভারতবর্ষ এবং ভারতবর্ষের বাইরে নেই যাকে আমি মিট করিনি। সেই দীননাথ ভার্গব অর্থাৎ ভারতীয় সংবিধানের প্রচ্ছদপট রচয়িতা থেকে শুরু করে তার যে 1971 সালে তার যে শেষ যে ছাত্র তাদেরকেও আমি মিট করেছি। ভারতবর্ষের যে প্রচ্ছদপট রচয়িতা সংবিধানের দীননাথ ভার্গব, তার সাথে রামকিঙ্কর বেজ একসাথে যেতেন। যে লায়ন স্টাডি যখন করতেন দীননাথ ভার্গব, রামকিঙ্কর বেজও তার সাথে যেতেন আমাদের চিড়িয়াখানায়, মানে কলকাতা চিড়িয়াখানায় তিনি তার সিংহ স্টাডি করবার জন্য। এটা একটা রেয়ার ঘটনা এবং দীননাথ ভার্গব নিজেই আমাকে জানিয়েছিলেন এই ঘটনাটি, এবং দীননাথ ভার্গব তিনি আমাকে তার ছোট ছেলে বলে পরিচয় দিতেন। এটা আমার সৌভাগ্য এবং জীবনে তার সাথে একই বিছানায় কাটানোর আমার দিনের পর দিন বছরের পর বছর সৌভাগ্য হয়েছে। ঠিক যেমনভাবে সৌভাগ্য হয়েছিল অসিত কুমার দাশগুপ্ত, যিনি এখনো জীবিত, রামকিঙ্কর বেজের সাথে তিনি 5 বছর বেড শেয়ার করেছেন। কেউ ভাবতেও পারবে না, আমাদের সকলের একটা ভ্রান্ত ধারণা আছে যে শান্তিনিকেতনের হলেই বোধহয় রামকিঙ্কর সম্পর্কে বেশি জানা যাবে, কিন্তু কলকাতা গভর্নমেন্ট আর্ট কলেজের ছাত্র এবং পরবর্তী সময়ে তিনি কলকাতা গভর্নমেন্ট আর্ট কলেজের অধ্যাপক হয়েছিলেন। অসিত দাশগুপ্ত আমাকে রামকিঙ্কর বেজ সম্পর্কে যে সমস্ত তথ্য দিয়েছেন সে সমস্ত তথ্য আমি কোনো শান্তিনিকেতন বা আদার্স কোনো কারোর কাছ থেকে পাই।
Well, esteemed viewers, दर्शक, मैं आपको ये आश्वासन दे सकता हूँ कि आज एक परिचिति रामकिंकर बेज जी के बारे में हुई। We will have, please bear with us, we will have plenty of session on different aspects of legendary রামকিঙ্কর বেজ। আমরা অনেকগুলো ধারাবাহিকভাবে করব সময়ের সাথে সাথে। ওনার অ্যাভেলেবিলিটি, আমার উনিও প্রায় বিদেশে থাকেন, আমিও বাইরে বাইরে অন্য রাজ্যে থাকি। You will have plenty of it in a series. Could you enlighten us in his entire career what all canvas he has worked, that is on what of the mediums?
Generally, he liked the medium of the clay.
He started with the clay.
He started with the clay because Nandalal Bose told Ramkinkar Baij, because it is Shantiniketan, you will not get the wood, you will not get the stone, you will not get the bronze. Even the bronze casting was started after the death of Nandalal Bose in Shantiniketan. So anyone can realize that what type of difficulties, what type of that means the opposition
bar
regularly he has to face to it. So maximum his sculptures are remain in the clay or in the plaster of Paris or in the fiberglass.
And oil painting also?
Oil paintings are generally he used to do the oil paintings on, that means the up on the surface of the mosquito net to protect himself from the rainy seasons rainwater.
Well, I'll refrain from adding the prefix doctorate in your name, but Anindo Kanti BISWAS, I should not be bombarded by the esteemed viewers of this channel. Could you briefly enlighten us about your education in the field of arts and culture?
Actually, my 4 generations are from this field. My great grandfather late Ganodakanta BISWAS. He was a versatile genius. When I was only 5 years old, I was acted with him in the drama Selfish Giant. He was acted as a selfish giant, and my role was to very little part that the bees. So,
Bee,
or bee, much
honeybee.
honeybee. So all are acquainted with the world famous play, The Selfish Giant. So he acted as a selfish giant, and I was acted. That means the young actor. That means very little child. I was only 5 years old in the year 1979, 1980. And when I was in only 9 years old, he gave me the hammer and chisel to cut the block. So I have the idea to do the sculpting, and in our house it was the outside of the house was cemented, so black cement. So generally all the pujas are happening in my house. So in the time of the Kali Puja, during the Diwali, generally used to, that non-Bengalis are say, used to say that the Diwali, at the time of Diwali, he gave me the white chalk and little bit of clothes, and you have to do what you have learned from your school. That means when I was in 5th standard, that means I was 10 years old at the time. I was studied in Krishnanagar College School. My
Nadia
schooling,
Krishnanagar.
Nodia district, it was a very great school where I have passed from. The building was 250 years old. It was the building, it was the ancestral home of barrister Monomohan Ghosh. He gave to the government of West Bengal a very little amount to take that building, and now that building was, that means, regarded as the Krishnanagar College School. It was started 1846, and I was passed from Krishnanagar College School in the year 1992. Then I moved to my higher education, that means the 10+2. After that, I did my first BA in literature. I was the direct student of Pavitra Sarkar, the Vice Chancellor of Rabindranath University. And then I shifted to, when I was in 3rd year in literature, I shifted to Jodhapur Fine Arts faculty. I did
Calcutta.
Yes,
Calcutta.
Calcutta. Jodhapur, the birthplace of Rabindranath Tagore. I shifted to visual arts. That means
That
I
means
did.
that means the Rabindra Bharati University's campus was also
Yes,
at his birthplace,
at that
Jodhapur,
time,
Calcutta.
Jodhapur. Now it was shifted to that means the BT Road campus.
As well as new
Yes.
campus.
And I did my 2 graduations from Rabindranath University, and for my higher education I came Delhi, and I did my first masters from National Museum Institute. After passing National Museum Institute, I have cleared my NET and JRF, but I was not interested to do at that time the PhD. So I shifted to JNU for my second MA, and at that time in the entrance exam I stood first all over the world.
Which subject?
In arts and aesthetics, I was the 3rd batch.
Arts and aesthetics.
Arts and aesthetics, I was the 3rd batch of arts and aesthetics department. Then I finished my second masters, and then after finishing my second masters from JNU, I joined MS University's Faculty of Fine Arts, Baroda, for my PhD. I have started my PhD scholar in the year 2007, and completely I have spent 9 years full time as a researcher, but for my guide it was taking 18 years time to award the PhD.
That's the sad tragic story of our
Yes,
academics.
I don't think so that this type of history remains in Indian art scenario. 18 years, I don't think so that no one can hamper it.
It's a
So it
brain drain.
hampers, yes.
That led to brain drain in 70s and 80s. Well, Anindya Babu, how you were wedded or tempted, if I am so blunt, how you were wedded to the cause of Ramkinkar Baij and your in-depth studies and the research. Could you throw some light on it? आप कैसे अनुप्राणित हुए, मोटिवेट हुए?
एक्चुअली रामकिंकर बेज के ऊपर थोड़ा सा स्टोरी दादाजी सुनाते थे. जब दादाजी के पास सो के मैं सुनते थे, और दादाजी जहाँ जहाँ पोस्टेड हुआ, as he was in his own interest, or that means opposite of the interest, he joined the police department. Wherever he was posted, he used to make the theater studio there. So when he was posted in Bankura, I believe 100% that he met different times with Ramkinkar Baij. And both of them are very much interested in the theatrical personality. And Ramkinkar Baij's theater, that means the production and the direction of Ramkinkar Baij in English drama, Poetastas of Ispahan, he directed that play 4 times from 1945 to 1967. If his theatre direction was documented in Indian art scenario, that will be regarded as the world art theatre's directions, the new angle.
That's a masterpiece.
Masterpiece. And I have, that means going through his all the drama, all the, that means the preferable drama, not only the preferable drama, his studies, his nook, every nook and corner I have searched. When he was a student of the 5th standard in the National School of Bankura, I have documented his signature when he was just only 5th standard, that means 10 years old. I have seen his signature Ramkinkar Poramanik. But Baij was given by the discussion with the Kiti Mohan Sen, the great grandfather of the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen.
Oh, wonderful, nice. You have thrown good light on how the evolved from surname evolved. Well, Anindya Babu, for the listeners, I wish to add, he has been awarded the senior fellowship by Government of India, Ministry of Culture, and later on, recently he did his research work for Ministry of Culture,
Bhavesh Chandra Sannal, when
CCRT, Delhi.
That one. CCRT on Dhanraj Bhagat. Dhanraj Bhagat was the student of B.C. Sanyal. I met with B.C.
Bhavesh Sanyal.
Yes, Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal. Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal was the doyen of Indian modern art.
Yes, certainly.
And I did the dissertation paper on Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal in the year 2005. And I am the first person who has compared Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal's work with Amrita Shergill's work. I can show that things, that how Amrita Shergill was inspired from B.C. Sanyal, and the style of the Amrita Shergill style is nothing. It was the style of B.C. Sanyal. I have proved side by side at least 41 slides, but here I can show 2 slides. This was done by B.C. Sanyal and this was done by Amrita Shergill. Generally, what's happened, B.C. Sanyal, you don't use the signature and the date or the year. That was the lack of Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal. This was Mother India by Amrita Shergill, and it is the Horizon Girl by Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal. See the closeness, the eyes, the expression of the eyes, the fold of the draperies, even the composition format are the same. Generally, when Amrita Shergill came India, she was only 23 years old. She has no style, and Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal was the assistant professor in Lahore Mayo School of Art at that time. She used to visit Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal's studio, and they studied together. It is quite but very natural that the seniors' impression will come to the juniors' one, and if the senior has the flexibility or the open-mindedness, he or she will be keep silent and the junior one will proceed. So it happened with Amrita Shergill.
Amrita Shergill. The road is named after.
Yes. But the style is Bhavesh Chandra Sanyal's.
Okay, very nice. Well, Anindya Babu, I mean,
I have written extensively in the Statesman in
we will have it in another
2001.
session. मैं ये दर्शकों के लिए जानना चाहूँगा कि जैसे रवि वर्मा है, हमारे उदयपुर की शैली है, फिर मधुबनी आर्ट्स है, फिर जामिनी राय थे, तो रामकिंकर बाजू इनकी बैज बाबू की शैली किसी नाम से परिचित है या इसकी अभी भी प्रचलन है?
एक कहानी में बोलते हैं, ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर का जो सेकंड जो दामाद था, सूर्य कुमार अधिकारी, उनका जो पोते थे, मेरा सौभाग्य सूर्य कुमार अधिकारी का जो पोते संतोष कुमार अधिकारी, he was the bank manager in the year 1954 in Shantiniketan, At that time, only one bank was there. What's happened generally, one bank, so generally Ramkinkar Baij's account was there. So Ramkinkar Baij used to go there, and when he was shifted, that means the Santosh Kumar Adhikari shifted, that means transferred from Shantiniketan to Calcutta, Ramkinkar Baij did one portrait of Santosh Kumar Adhikari with the pen, and then Santosh Kumar Adhikari was at that time 24 plus, just only 24 plus. And he asked Ramkinkar Baij, I have to discuss or I have to describe that it is the work of Ramkinkar Baij. There is no need, the word of Ramkinkar Baij, there is no use to describe my definition or something. If anyone can see, my line will speak that it is the line of Ramkinkar Baij.
Oh, that's excellent.
Not a single artist of Indian art scenario can say like this.
एक ওয়েল দর্শকদের আমি বলতে চাই আজকে আমরা বেশিক্ষণ আর এই সেশনটা করব না, আমরা ভবিষ্যতে রামকিঙ্কর বাবুর ওপর আরও এপিসোডস করবো, ওনার দীর্ঘ এবং চেকার ক্যারিয়ারের ওপর বিভিন্ন বিষয় করব, again in English for the English listeners. We will have plenty of session exclusively on Ramkinkar Baij, his creativity and other aspect of his checkered life. Last but not the least, out of my curiosity, in any auction house like Sotheby or Christie, has any artwork been put under hammer?
Yes, there are different of works, but lot of fake work was there. Recently, I have seen from Patna Art College one of the products. Shailendra Da showed me one drawing. It was never done by Ramkinkar Baij because if he was very unable to do the work, line can speak. The sparking was there, but absolutely the original works of Ramkinkar Baij, the fake, at least 10% extend to that works.
Before the advent of
Yes,
AI,
yes.
the fake
Yes.
have hit the market and the auction house to Sotheby, Christie, etc. That's very tragic.
They have also sold the fake works also, I can say.
Could you just briefly tell what are the other aspects we will have future session on Ramkinkar
The
Baij?
singing career of Ramkinkar Baij.
Okay.
Shobhan Som told or has written that if Ramkinkar Baij's singing that means ability can be documented, that Rabindra Sangeet one dimension will be, that means
Open
more
up.
ground open up. And as a theatre person, not only that, as a literature person, Ramkinkar Baij, lot of scopes are there. Actually, he is a versatile genius. In his childhood days, he used to act in the play in Bankura, and that was reflected in future in Shantiniketan atmosphere also, till his death.
Wonderful. Please bear with us. We are going to end this session. I can assure you one thing with Anindya Babu, and who has been rather totally sunk himself despite his creative side artist on the research work of Ramkinkar Baij, the legendary craft person. We will have plenty later on. Even he has a bibliography, his some signatures as well as other manuscripts we will have. We take leave of you all. Dhanyavad. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Anindya BISWAS, to presently residing in
to
Delhi.
give me the chance to say about Ramkinkar Baij.
Namaskar. Bye bye.